This week we got a couple of bug fixes, some environmental transparencies, and last but not least, Discord server. Let's get into this. So let's get the first thing out of the way, because that's probably what you clicked on the video for. The Discord server is live. It isn't a whole lot to look at right now. There's a few text channels, some feedback channels. There is a moderator bot installed at the moment because, well, trolls are a thing. There are two actual update text channels. There is the dev updates, which will be larger things, bug fixes, major things, and then there's the no 0 days channel. That actually is a philosophy that I have seen recommended by many game developers, is the philosophy of no 0 days. Always do something, no matter how small that something is. Do something to push your project further every single day. And that channel holds me accountable. So that's what that. I look forward to seeing you all there, getting some feedback on things that are going on with Noia, for better or for worse. You know, constructive feedback is always welcome. I do welcome it. I know a lot of game devs who shy away from constructive feedback or negative feedback, and you know, they go hide in the shadows. I will try not to do that. I understand people can get very enthusiastic about their feedback. I ask that you try and keep it civil, keep it constructive, and I will read it all and take it to heart. It doesn't mean that your feedback will change anything, but I'll let you know if it does. That's all I can think of for Discord. So let's talk about the starting area that I have in my head for Noia. Is going to be a heavily wooded area, forest, and there is an effect that I would like to replicate from a game that many of you have probably played, that is a fan favorite of many of the Zelda players out there, and that is Link to the Past. In the Lost Woods, or the Shaded Woods, maybe it was called at one point in time, once Link gets the Master Sword for the first time, when he's leaving the Lost Woods, it is no longer covered in fog, and you can actually see this transparency effect upon the ground, where some places are more brightly lit than others, and that is to simulate the light coming through the canopy of trees upon the ground. That's what these little star-shaped patterns are, is the light coming through the leaf canopy. And I really enjoy that effect. It was really cool when I was a kid playing Link to the Past, and I managed to get I don't think it's the actual transparency, I think it's a fan-made transparency of the exact effect, and I imported it into the game. This is definitely not what the final product will look like. This is just a test. I don't think I want Nintendo bearing down on me for taking even a single art asset from one of their games and using it in my own. That would be a terrible idea. I think the test works well. It's a very simple trick of just putting this canvas in front of the camera and then setting it as a shadow only object. So the object is there and it interacts with light sources, but it is completely transparent. So it casts shadows appropriately despite the player not being able to see it, which is really, really cool in my opinion. Moving on to the bug fix side of this, the skills in Noia work on the same philosophy as a game, another MMO that I used to play called RF Online. In RF Online, the highest level that you could level up a skill to was 7. In Noia, we're going to start with the highest level being 5 for now. If it goes up later, we'll see. The idea was that your spells get stronger as you cast them, but they only get stronger when you cast them at proper targets. So a monster that's too low level for you would not result in skill experience and buffs in particular. If a person already had the buff on them and you were just refreshing the cast time, that also would not grant spell experience. So some spells were definitely harder to level than others. There were some inherent problems with that, where some very necessary buffs just took a lot longer to level up than, say, your average attack spell, because I could go out and wipe out hundreds of thousands of mobs very quickly and level up my spells, but it would take me a much more exponentially longer amount of time to level up buffs because I had to wait for them to expire first. I'm thinking of a way around this, but I haven't come up with one yet, so they are as they are right now. A buff has to expire before it can be reapplied for full XP. The problem that I was having was, well, initially, anytime you cast a spell, whether or not the target was a valid target for the spell or not, you would just get EXP. I have now added this little bracketed area here where it checks if the player or the caster of the spell is a player, and if so, is the target of the player a valid target that would grant you XP. Namely, if it's a buff spell, the buff can't already be applied to the target because then you are only refreshing it. So it has to be a brand new buff applied to the target, and then you'll be granted full XP. If it's an attack spell, the target has to be within 10 levels of the player. That could go up or down, maybe to 5, within 5 levels, but we'll see how things play out. And that's it for this week's video. I will actually be going on vacation, so that's why this video is being cut short, because I'm going to lose my weekend of being able to record. So I just had to put out what I had. Doesn't mean I'm not going to be working on Noia while I'm on vacation, but I won't be able to record while I'm on vacation. So we'll see you guys next time.